Hello there everybody, and welcome to what is essentially a Metroidvania map announcement video for a map that I did 6 years ago at this point. October 2020 was when Vigil The Longest Night came out. The game was updated fairly regularly between 2020 and mid-2021, I think June time, which was about when I was done with it. It went through several kind of map visual alterations. It had new items, it had new quests, it had some DLC, and then a year or two later it was taken off sale. Publisher issues, I believe. I can't really remember, it's been a good chunk of time. I put maps out for this back in 2020 on Steam Guides. Now obviously I don't do that anymore, because of all the issues that I had with Steam Guides, where they threatened to essentially delete my Steam account if I kept on linking to external websites like my Google Drive. And considering how Steam's upload limit for images is 2 megabytes and the size that I make these maps at, you weren't getting anything useful out of them, in my opinion. You know, back in 2017 when I did the Hollow Knight one, yeah, everybody was using different sized monitors and they weren't used to 4K or even 1440p. These days, times have changed. I wanted to keep the maps large, crisp, viewable, and so on and so forth. Some of you might be thinking, Dema, there's loads of stuff in Steam Guides where they're linking to external websites. It's like, yes, I know. They've got links to Nexus mods, they've got links to GitHub pages, they've got links to paid resources. I don't know why they singled me out, but some people reported me for whatever it was that they think that I'd done. And they basically, they threatened to close down my Steam account, which, considering it's, 20 plus years worth of account at this point with literal hundreds of games, like, no, I'm not risking that for the sake of people that are going to try and get my account banned. So screw it, I took down all the Steam Guides. So this Vigil map, or the maps, hasn't been available on Steam for at least 2 to 3 years at this point. But it has, of course, been available on my website. So if you go to demajen.co.uk and you type in the search box for Vigil, you'll see that the last update that I did for this map was mid-June 2021. You click through to it, go to the Google Drive, and you can see that all of the old maps from back in the day, version 3 at this point, are on here. But the eagle-eyed amongst you might also have noted that, hold on, there's a Map 01 Prologue 2026 version. And that's because somebody asked me, was I going to update the Vigil map with more kind of modern style Demajen sensibilities? And I'm going to be honest, I had actually looked into doing so, but I hadn't done so because, quite frankly, Vigil isn't a small game, and I didn't know how long that would take me to do. So what I did do is I did this Prologue map, and I just put that up for people to see. It's like, is this worth it? More importantly, was it worth it for me to go through and update the entire map? Because keep in mind that that's one of 4, and this is the smallest map. So we've got the Prologue, we've got the Overworld, which is big. We've got the Dungeons, or the Underground map, which again is quite big. And then we've got the Inside map, which shows you inside all the houses and stuff. And whilst not massively big, is quite cluttered with information. So I had to make up my mind on this. And fortunately for people that like this game and want a nice updated map of this game, the Metroidvania release schedule over the last month or so has been quite low, quite bland. So I've had more time to revisit older maps and bring them up to code, so to speak. So that's what I've done. We have got the Vigil of the Longest Night. This is 100% size. And this is, of course, the moment where I start seeing mistakes that I've made, because there are always some. So this is the Prologue map. This is the version of the game world that you see right at the start of the game. And if you compare it to the original version, you'll see that I have now added in icons for every single NPC, every single consumable, every single weapon, every single arcane spell, every single key item, every single special item, every single ring that you can get, which took forever because there are a lot of rings in this game. All of the wearables that you can find, all of the things that you can put in your inventory, all of the weapons, all of the crafting materials, all of the chests that have got stuff in, all of the currency that's all over the place, loads of notes and extra completionist notes, names of all the areas, all of the different tiers of crafting materials and how many there are that you find in this, and so on and so forth. There are even extra notes that weren't on the original version of this map, and that took me 5 hours to do just for the prologue alone. Let's take a look at 100% scale for the overworld, shall we? So this is 100% scale that I've created at for the overworld, and I've done exactly the same thing as I've done with the other maps. I've got all of the bosses, all of the items, key items, quest items, spell icons, NPCs. We've also, of course, got all of the different furnishing items, which have now got their own icons on there. We've also got, and this took me a while to do, where all the doorways are, they've now got color-coded and lettered icons to take you to the right places so that you can pop in and out of buildings and find your way between the three essentially different maps, because once you're done with the prologue, you can't come back to it. I've updated all of the breakable wall icons with newer stuff, all of the locked doors, all of the lever opened doors or switch open doors, they've all got modern icons on as well. Everything has been updated to modern styles. But wait, there's more, because I also went through and wrote down all of the trader inventories as well. There are still a couple of things that I actually probably need to do another run through of the game to check, because I didn't do one for this. The amount of time that I put into this so far does not include a complete playthrough of the game. This is simply me saying, okay, this is all the information that I had on the original version of the maps. How long will it take me to just refresh everything? And at the time of this recording, 25 hours without even playing through the game again. I've dipped into the game to check the currency costs of certain things and whether a wall was, for example, a breakable wall or an open from another side door or something like that. And of course, there have been some extra things that have been added in since I last played. So, for example, down here, the Bound Demon Hearts isn't on the older version of the map, because the last time I played in 2021, that wasn't in the game. That's been added in since. So this is the overworld map. It's got all of, as far as I know, it's got everything that I found on over 95 hours worth of several playthroughs of this game. But of course, it's not just a prologue and an overworld. You can, as I said, go inside all of the different houses. So all of the different houses have had all of their icons and stuff updated as well. Nice and clear door markers, NPCs that you can find, and so on and so forth. All in nice color-coded areas so that you can find your way around. Couple of things added in here. August, as far as I'm aware, wasn't here previously in Act 3, but he now gives you a new spell if you finish his questline. So I've tried to, in certain instances, make the information clearer. And again, we have got, just like we do in the prologue. Oh, that's interesting. Where's my prologue text box? I've probably got the wrong version of the file open. That would be very me. On the actual version that I'll be putting up of this, there's a box down here with the information for the for Edonia and Zach. But yeah, it's a cut down version of this. There's certain bits on here that are only available in the that aren't only available in the prologue. It's an inventory that expands once you get into the main game. So everything down to the owl's feather, the 2 weapons, and this column here, and this section of arrows here, they're all available in the prologue, but there's other things that get unlocked when you get into the main game. And if you've not played Vigil, I do recommend playing Vigil. You'll find out why that is once you get into the game proper. So lots of information. Some of the areas, because I have got all of the NPC icons on, have become a little bit busier than they were previously. But as I said, I've tried to make sure the information gets updated. This place looked a nightmare, so I have had to shrink those icons down, because otherwise they're all that size, and in some places that looked fine. Likewise, I haven't put the icons for here because it would just look super messy, and it was already starting to get a little bit much. So this is inside the buildings, and of course we've got the massive underground map. I've forgotten to take those placeholders off there, which they're the things that I just grabbed to copy and paste into different places. I'll get rid of those. Those won't be on the maps that you can find online. But all of the different places that you can get to, from the catacombs and what ocarina you need to play to get there, all of the bosses, and so on and so forth. This is, even something like putting icons on for all of the different equipment pieces, it was a lot of work. And as I said, all of the rings, there are so many rings in this game, and they've all got their own individual stats and icons. So of course, I had to put all of those on to make sure it was as accurate as I possibly could make it. Now, that is not to say that there are no mistakes that have been made. There could be things that are left over from the first version of the map. Oh, that's new as well, telling you where all the different locations of the flaming hand barriers, and I've replaced the icon for those as well. There may be some mistakes on here, and as I said, I haven't played through the full game again, because whilst I've had time, I haven't had that much time. So yeah. Here's something that you won't see on the previous map of the game. I don't even know when they did this, but at some point post 2024 or 2025, they actually updated the game with new content. And this entire section down here in Shadow Disaster, it doesn't have a map in game, and you can probably tell that I've drawn this out myself because it's not in the same style, but it's kind of close. So there's a little drop down here that you can get to. There's nothing here realistically. It's kind of empty, but there is an NPC at the end who can become a merchant if you give him lots of money and keep on spending money at him, and he's got some extra bits and pieces for you to buy. So I've added that on as well. That took me a while to do because, of course, I had to figure out how the camera and stuff worked in Vigil. I've not done that before. There's another little artifact over there. As I said, I always find stuff when I'm doing these videos that's like, there's a mistake that I've made. Ooh, there's a mistake I've made. There's 2 on this map. But yes, that is the refresh of the 2026 refresh of the Vigil, The Longest Night maps. A really enjoyable Souls-like experience with, a chunk of jank, but in my opinion, a really quite good story. Lots of loot to find. It is It's not the most Metroidvania of Metroidvanias. There are, I think, 4 Metroidvania powers that you can get. It does lean slightly more towards Souls than Vania in the Souls-Vania portmanteau. But I really enjoyed it. It's got a cracking soundtrack. It's got great vibes and atmosphere. It's got multiple endings. Really cool enemy and boss designs. If you don't like spline-based animation, which is the one where you've got the different bits and they're all kind of animated around pivots and joints, it gives it a little bit of almost a paper dolly style thing, then you might think, this doesn't really fulfill my visual needs or animation needs in that light. But that's never been an issue for me. I as I said, I really enjoyed this. So, the original 2021, 2022-ish, something like that, versions of the map are still available in the Google Drive. They all seem to be there from March 2024. I don't know whether that would have probably been when I shut down the Steam guide and put them up on my website instead. They certainly weren't updated then. They're still there, plus the new Prologue map. For now, this updated slight coat of paint stuff map, once I fix the slight errors that I've made whilst talking through this video, they're going in the supporter pack on my coffee.com store. They will be made available for free at a later date, but this is one of those things that's like, somebody asked me whether I was going to be doing this. So yeah, making this available for supporters first. But as I said, the original maps that I made, they don't have much less information on. They're missing, the shops and this extra section here, and that's kind of about it. But yeah, 2026 is Vigil, The Longest Night map refresh. I hope you enjoy it. Do let me know if there are any mistakes, apart from the ones that I've pointed out in this video, that you find if you support me and purchase the pack for it. Or if you see this video at some point in the future and you find any mistakes on the maps in the Google Drive. Because I've been looking at this so long now, I can't see the errors. Have yourselves a wonderful day, folks. Thank you for the support. As always, enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll catch you all in the next video. Cheerio. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, why not click the like button and consider subscribing. Remember, you can ring the bell notification icon to get notified when new videos go live. And until next time, cheerio.